Hello students, good afternoon. So here I'm making video on translation. Translation is a very important part of linguistics. Actually all parts are very important when we study linguistics. So that's a scientific study, and that is why we have to have good idea uh, about different aspects of language. So here we had studied earlier we studied IPA symbols, IC analysis, syllables, history of English literature. So many things we have already discussed. But now, suppose we have to translate, right? So, what are the challenges and limitations we have when we translate one text into another? So that is translation. So let us see that what's the translation. Translation in linguistics is the process of transferring the meaning of a written or spoken text from a source language into equivalent, coherent, and natural sounding version in a target language. There are so many things between source language and source language and target language, right? When first we have to understand what is the source language and what is the target language. Source language is the text which is available, and target language we have to change into that particular language from Hindi to English or vice versa, Hindi to English. So, Hindi to English, suppose you are given text in Hindi and the same matter you have to translate into English. So, that English will be target language and Hindi is source language, and vice versa. English matter is given and the same matter you have to translate into Hindi. So English is the source language and Hindi will be the target language. So this is the difference. First of all, we have to understand that what is the source language and what's the target language, right? So now, translation, we all know that translation is a process. That's a process of transferring the meaning of a written or spoken text from a source language into, and so many conditions in between. Here there are so many conditions from source language to target language. That is, first of all, we have to change the this language or this matter, right? So that's the same meaning should be converted into target language, whether it is written or spoken. Then it must be equivalent, the same. Suppose Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. And if you know that poem originally written by Rabindranath, written in Bengali, right? Bangla. But author was Rabindranath Tagore ji was very much comfortable with English also, and that is why he himself changed the songs offering whole poems one, uh, right? So that's a whole poem he has converted into English. That was easy task to him. But suppose the person who is not familiar that term, but he must be expert in two languages, Hindi. Suppose I can change uh, matter English into Hindi and Hindi into matter, because I write both the language Hindi and English. So that is challenge is that we have to change the matter, and it must be equivalent. Means meaning should not be less and more. Meaning should not be distorted. So first condition is equivalent, then coherent. It must be in order what is written in the introduction. Suppose I am changing uh, Hindi matter into English, and topic is Indian education. So whatever written is in introduction, then discussion, then conclusion, so the same introduction, discussion and conclusion in Hindi or English, vice versa. Suppose I am translating matter from Hindi to English. So that's a whatever written in Hindi in the introduction, then discussion, then conclusion. So the same steps, the same coherence I have to maintain, and natural sounding version. And third thing is natural sounding. It should not be sounded unnatural or artificial. So there is, this is the big challenge. There are lots of points we have to keep in mind. That's the same the matter from any language, from one language to another. So that must be equivalent, then coherent. Coherence must be maintained, and then it should be natural sounding version, right? It should be natural. It sounds naturally. So these are the challenges, these are the things which is very important to keep in mind when we transfer any source language to target language. Now, it is not just about replacing words one for one, a good one for one. That's a translation. Does not suppose if I say that mm, mm, आज हम आईपीए आज हम आईपीए सिंबल्स आईपीए सिंबल्स, मैंने इसमें इंग्लिश में लिख दिया है, हिंदी में होना चाहिए, सिंबल्स की जानकारी जानकारी लेंगे जानकारी लेंगे। सपोज ये मैटर हिंदी में है, आई हैव टू चेंज। सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस आईपीए सिंबल्स, माइट बी another translation, but according to this, today we write IPA symbols, information, जानकारी is information, take. So today we'll take the information of IPA symbols. This way translation, and today we are going to discuss IPA symbol. It's more appropriate, right? So the same he is telling that translation is not replacing word for word, words one for one. That's a, इसमें सुंदर भाव है, या इस कविता में मान लो ऐसा होता कि इस कविता में सुंदर भाव है, ऐसा होता मान लो। कैसा? इस कविता में सुंदर भाव है, मान लो ऐसा होता, सुंदर भाव है। तो अब आप इसको वर्ड टू वर्ड, दिस पोएम इन ब्यूटीफुल इमोशंस आर, ऐसे तो नहीं कर देंगे, दिस पोएम इन ब्यूटीफुल इमोशंस आर। तो दैट इज नॉट जस्ट वन टू वन रिप्लेसमेंट, राइट? तो क्या है, अ गुड ट्रांसलेशन मस्ट ऑल्सो कन्वे द ओरिजिनल कंटेक्स्ट, टोन एंड इंटेंट। context must be maintained, right? Then tone, the same tone. Suppose there is sarcasm. So that sarcasm, that tone must be maintained. And then intent. Intention should not be changed, distorted. So translation is not just one to one words. Translation is more than that. That everything we should keep in mind. The same emotions, context, intention, everything must be maintained. So that is why sometimes it's we have to change the words not according to original text, but we have to line is totally changed. However, the emotions and context remains the same, but when we change, then context is maintained. I'm just giving example. So this is the translation, so that the target audience understands the message as it was originally intended. Suppose you are sitting, you are listening to me, and if I am telling you that after this video I am leaving for Delhi, तो इसका अगर मैं हिंदी बोलूँ तो मैं दिल्ली छोड़ रही हूँ, लीविंग, दिल्ली के लिए छोड़ रही हूँ, सॉरी, दिल्ली के लिए छोड़ रही हूँ। पर इंग्लिश में ऐसा नहीं होता। इंग्लिश में आई एम लिविंग फॉर दिल्ली, मैं दिल्ली जा रही हूँ, तो आई एम गोइंग टू दिल्ली, तो अब भी तो नहीं, बट आई विल बी लीविंग फॉर दिल्ली, मतलब मैं दिल्ली जाने के लिए छोड़ रही हूँ, मीनिंग ही चेंज हो गया। बट यू अंडरस्टूड बिकॉज यू आर फैमिलियर दैट आई एम लिविंग फॉर दिल्ली, बिकॉज मैं दिल्ली जा रही हूँ, राइट। तो हिंदी में मैं दिल्ली जा रही हूँ, आई एम गोइंग टू दिल्ली, दैट इज ओके। बट इफ आई एम सेइंग आई एम लिविंग फॉर दिल्ली, almost the same, meaning is my intention is same, but words are changed. So uh, that is the translation. When we in the target audience understands the message. So if I'm changing the words, but then my audience should understand what speaker is saying. You must have noticed translators, right? So sometimes politicians go here and there for political speech. So translation, the translator is there. So he translates the same lines into Tamil, English from Tamil, Hindi from Tamil, Hindi into Tamil, right? English into Tamil. So then translator, he is familiar with the, he is getting the meaning idea from the speaker, and then he's changing that idea, he is delivering the idea into his own words, because it's not word to word, it's a total message must be conveyed. So this is the translation. Now uh, Roman Jacobson, he has given, he has divided translation into different types. So there are three types of translation. The linguist Roman Jacobson, right, famously categorized translation into three main types, which helps illustrate the breadth of concept. So that give the concept, give the space to concept. So let us see what are the three main types of translation. Interlingual translation. Interlingual, right? So that's a translation proper. What is this? This is the most common and typical understanding of translation. Converting a text from one distinct natural language to another. How? For source language, given language is English, and targeted language is French. An example is that translating a novel from English into French. So that's a, suppose they have to translate novel from English novel into French novel, into French, right? Another example, Spanish to English. Translating the Spanish phrase, this is Spanish phrase into English, right? Good day. This is this is called interlingual translation, means proper translation, interlingual, right? One is inter and one is that's a intra. So interlingual means that's a one language to another language, Spanish to English, right? So this is the interlingual. Now intralingual, rewording, that is intralingual, that's the translation proper. So that is okay, one language to another. Intralingual means rewording. This involves interpreting verbal signs. Important. Interpreting verbal signs, words or text by means of other signs. Means of other signs. Rewording, right? Means word change words, right? In the same language. It is essentially paraphrasing or simplifying a text. So, in intralingual, that's a paraphrasing or simplifying. Sorry. Paraphrasing or simplifying is same. So, what's the formal or complex English into simple English? Formal or complex English into simple English. So, what's the source language? That's a suppose complicated or complex English is given, and you have to simplify the matter. That's a target language. Example, rewording a complex legal document into plain English. Suppose there is English, that is only English, well, English to English, but complex English to simple English, simpler English, right? So that is legal document, that's a legal person, court, right, advocate, and uh, that's a judges, they can understand, but suppose we common people, layman, cannot understand. So the same matter, legal documents, is being converted into plain English or simple English. That is called rewording or intralingual, right? For general public, for common people. Okay. In old English, thou, thee, right? Doth. These are the words. Even in 17th century, it was used thou for you, right? Thee for your, right? Thee. That's a thee is your, thee, right? Doth is does. But now these words are replaced. These words are replaced by this. So that was the old English and sorry, I'm very sorry. That was the old English and that's the modern English. Old English, thou was used. Modern English, thou is replaced by you. This is the process is called rewording, where in modern English you would understand, right? So that updating the language in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, so modern readers can understand it easily because it was written in old language, right? Canterbury Tales. This was originally written in old English. So that's a many all Shakespearean work and other works available in modern English, so that mm, you can modern readers can understand the text. Meaning should not be changed, but it is rewording, it is paraphrased, it is simplified, right? So that is intralingual. Means intra means language, same language to same language, but tougher to easier. Now, third category is, he says that third category or type of translation. First translation, one language to another. Second translation, same language to same language, but that's a tougher to simplify. Now, third is intersemiotic translation or transmutation. What is this? Transmutation is, that is Transmutation. Let us see. That's a This is the interpretation of verbal signs. Interpretation of verbal signs by means of non-verbal sign systems. Means important thing is verbal to non-verbal. It involves transferring a message from a linguistic form to another medium. Linguistics is language, linguistic form to another medium. Right? So that's a linguistic form, please. Linguistic form to another medium. So now here source medium, because here we are talking about different medium, not language. So that is why please note down that's a source medium and target medium. So source medium is written novel and target medium is film movie. Example, adapting a book like Harry Potter into screenplay and movie. So Harry Potter is the original Harry Potter's, that's adapting a book like Harry Potter, and that is converted into screenplay and movie, right? The Five Point Someone, originally written by Chetan Bhagat. This novel, The Five Point Someone, written by Chetan Bhagat, and movie is Three Idiots. So novel, है ना? From novel means from text to movie or film. So from text or language, text or language into movie or film, right? Even serial, even reel, you can say. Okay, so that's a written novel, and written novel into that's a movie acting, right? And then that's a video, even you can make video. Another example, poem to painting. A poem is written by any poem, you can take example where the mind is without fear, right? And the same painting according to same emotions, that's a poem means written, that's a text written words converting into painting. So that is called, sorry, this time I'm getting disturbed again, that is called creating a piece of visual arts. Piece of Creating a piece of visual art is painting. Visual art that is inspired by and represent the meaning of poem. So then through painting you are talking about the poem where the mind is without fear. Or Shakespeare's very famous lines, the world is a stage, right? All the world is a stage. That poem can be converted into painting. Many examples you can take. So there are three methods of translation. First is interlingual. And who has given these classes, these three? That's a Roman Jacobson's has given three types of translation. Interlingual translation, English to Spanish, one language to another. Number two, intralingual translation, that's a rewording, means from one language to the same language, but that's a complex to easier, right? Paraphrasing or simplifying the text. Number three, intersemiotic or mutation. Mutation is a change, form must be changed, right? So that's a something new breed, we can say. So from poem, text is there, text must be there. First source medium is text. Text to movie, text to reel, text to video, or text means poem to painting, poem to mural art, anything, poem to collage. These are called intersemiotic or transmutation. Right? Now, examples of interlingual translation. Interlingual translation, first type, right? So, what's the first type? The following examples show how a direct word for word translation interlingual often fails to capture the correct meaning. I gave you example in the beginning. Word to word for one word, uh, मुझे आज अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. एग्जाम्पल, मुझे आज अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. अब आप इसका सेम वर्ड टू वर्ड कर दो, लग रहा है ना. तो मुझे, अब मी एंड आई एंड मी मीन्स, आई मीन्स मैं, एंड मी मीन्स मुझे. अब आपका शुरू में ही आप देखो डिफरेंस. मी इज ऑलवेज यूज आफ्टर द वर्ब, पर आपको मुझे में यहाँ मी करना पड़ेगा. देन आज, टुडे, अच्छा, गुड, नहीं, नॉट, लग, फील, रहा. चलो आप फील को फीलिंग कर दो, फील, है, इज. तो मी टुडे, गुड नॉट, फीलिंग इज, ऐसे तो नहीं कर सकते. तो क्या करें? आई एम नॉट फीलिंग वेल टुडे, टुडे आई एम नॉट वेल, टुडे आई एम नॉट फीलिंग वेल, राइट. तो हाउ वर्ड टू वर्ड फॉर वर्ड ट्रांसलेशन, word for word translation fails to capture the correct meaning. That's totally fails. We have seen the example. Requiring a translator to use equivalent message. So that's a great responsibility of translator, to use equivalent message in the target language, because it's not so easy, it's challenging. So what he will do, for example, idioms and phrases. It's a great challenge. How? Language, phrase, literal word for word translation, word for, not word to, word for one word, for another word, like this, right? Then correct meaning, equivalent translation. Source is English, and it is raining cats and dogs. For heavy rain, we use it as raining cats and dogs. They have given Spanish example. I'm giving you Hindi example. वहाँ कुत्ते बिल्ली की बारिश हो रही है, तो इट्स पॉरिंग और रेनिंग हैवीली, राइट. अब उसको आपको बोलना है, तो आपको बोलना पड़ता है, हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि झमाझम बारिश हो रही है. आप सोचो कि कितना डिफरेंस है. मतलब अगर हम ऐसे ट्रांसलेट करेंगे, तो मान लीजिए इंग्लिश, सोर्स लैंग्वेज इंग्लिश है, और यहाँ पे फ्रेज है, इट इज़ इंग्लिश में, इट इज़ रेनिंग कैट्स एंड डॉग्स. ठीक है, तो आपको उसको चेंज करना है वर्ड फॉर वर्ड. तो आपने इसको हिंदी में, यहाँ ये स्पेनिश का एग्जाम्पल दे रहे हैं, मैं इंग्लिश हिंदी का एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पर आई एम गिविंग यू हिंदी एग्जाम्पल. तो इट इज़ कुत्ते, इट इज़ का तो क्या है, यह है कुत्ते बिल्ली, है ना, कुत्ते बिल्ली, कुत्ते और बिल्ली की बारिश हो रही है, की बारिश हो रही है. अब मीनिंग ही चेंज हो गया. तो आप क्या करोगे? आप सो चेंज करोगे, और आपने बोला इसका बिल्कुल ऐसा बोलते हैं हिंदी में, झमा झम बारिश हो रही है. अब आप सोचो, झमाझम का कैट्स एंड डॉग से कोई लेना देना नहीं. तो इट्स अ ग्रेट चैलेंज. तो करेक्ट मीनिंग, इक्विवेलेंट मीनिंग, translator can only learn. I told you that I can speak, I can change change the text from Hindi to English and English to Hindi, because I have learned both the languages, so that I somewhat, in some extent, I can change easily the phrases and idioms and phrases. But it's not so easy. Another example, German, I can't give you example. I tell you because I can't read this text, but I am telling you that I only understand the train station, right? So I only understand train station. I don't understand the thing, and it is all Greek to me. And now I can't explain you this, but I'll give you so many examples. For example, another from English text is, I'm an empty vessel makes much noise. And then Hindi translation is totally different. Thotha chana baje ghana. So then if you change the same proverb into English, thotha chana baje ghana, so then chana you have to use. And there they are giving example through vessel, and we are telling that the chana and ghana, there's no connection between both the languages, but the meaning is same, intention is same, proverb is same. So this is the challenge what they are talking about. Talking that's a interlingual translation. It's not so easy word for word. We have to understand both the language, we have to be familiar with, and then only we will be in situation to translate properly. Another example, they have given common greeting, right? So in common greeting, source is French. Again, I can't tell you much, but how do you do, है ना? And then correct is how are you. So how do you do and how are you are the same, but how do you do, कैसे करते हो इसको, हम ऐसा भी तो मीनिंग निकाल सकते हैं. So that is, common greetings are not, again, are not word for word, cannot give you full meaning, right? Good morning, so bad morning or average morning, these are the equivalent expressions, right? Good morning, average morning, bad morning, right? So that is why, what's your good name, what's your bad name? No. What's your good name? शुभ नाम, आपका शुभ नाम क्या है? जबकि मॉडर्न इंग्लिश डज नॉट फेवर, डज नॉट say like encourage to speak this way. What's your name? That is enough. So these are the challenges in even common greetings. How do you do? How are you? Right? It's the same. But text is same. Words are same. So these are the example for interlingual translation. Now moving to next one. In next class, I gave you another examples. Here they have given just one example of interlingual translation. But the same. Uh, I'm going to tell you in next slideshow about about other intralingual translation, and that's third type of translation, intersemiotic translation. But yeah, great challenge comes when we change one language to another, right? So these are the challenges come. So that is all for translation, and for here only. And I'm going to make another video in which we will discuss something more related to translation. So thank you so much. God bless you.